To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Almighty and everlasting God, who presides over all things in heaven and earth, come and preside over these deliberations so that those that make the decisions may be guided by your wisdom.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
You're welcome.
Welcome to the April 24th City Council meeting. Roll call from the clerk, please.
Mr. Barrett?
Here.
Mr. Belishko?
Here.
Mr. Mirren?
Here.
Mrs. McClay?
Here.
Mr. Brooks?
Here.
Also in attendance is Mayor George Brown, Controller Tony Thomas, Administrator Charles McCormick, City Attorney Tim Henry, Assistant City Clerk Tracy Smith, Administrative Assistant Lisa Sanfilippo. Good evening. Welcome to tonight's regular session of council. Please turn off all cell phones. Following are examples of some important council rules. They are not intended to be a complete list. Please adhere as closely as possible to the 5-minute speaker presentation time limit. No persons are allowed to address the council from beyond the rail, except the speaker at the dais who has the floor. The chairperson shall preserve order and decorum and prevent attacks on personalities. The chairperson shall determine all points of order. No person except city officers or their representatives shall be permitted within the rail during any meeting without the express permission of council. Council kindly asks that the public please vacate the building within 10 minutes after the meeting adjourns. And finally, when members of the administration are speaking, please use the microphone.
First on the agenda, we have Councilman Stan Marin to do a presentation, a resolution to the Fick family.
You guys want to come up?
Okay.
That's what they're for. That must be his wife. Probably.
Over here.
A resolution for my former football coach and mentor, Coach Charlie Fick. I'm here with his family and some of my other coaches here, Coach Gabriel and Coach Kaliki. They're my former coaches as well. So, whereas Charles Fick passed away peacefully on Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025. And whereas Mr. Fick was born and raised in Wilkes-Barre and was a proud graduate of E.L. Myers High School, where he excelled as an all-scholastic football and baseball player. He then went on to become a standout football player at Wilkes College. And whereas Mr. Fick was a mathematics teacher at GAR Memorial High School and the head football coach from 1980 to 1997. During that time, Coach Fick led his team to 6 Long Valley Conference championships, 3 Eastern Conference championships. Whereas Charlie is survived by his wife Ann, children Charles, Kelly, Matthew, grandchildren Madison, Emily, Zoe, Hannah, Brett, Juliana, and Charlie. Now therefore be resolved that the City Council of the City of Wilkes-Barre hereby offers their condolences to the family of the late Charles Fick.
Sure.
Stan.
Standard, right?
Sorry for loss. Stan, the mayor's going to do this. Tell him to stay.
Mr. Mayor?
Tell him to stay.
Say here, also from the mayor.
Good game yesterday.
No, it wasn't a good game.
I agree.
Good game yesterday. His son played my grandson minor league. 6-0.
9-0.
Good game.
The other way around.
Turn around and walk. We have a announcement. Thank you for doing this. I've known the Fick family all my life. We grew up on the same street. Charlie was my idol going through school. He played football for Myers High School. He was number 31. And he was, at that time, he was like a Larry Zonker running back. And he was like Larry Zonker. And I always looked up to him. So when I played for Myers, I wanted to have number 31. I wanted to be a running back like Charlie Fick. Well, There's no way I would. He was, all right, guys? Great ball player. And then, you know, he wound up after high school, he Susquehanna he went to, and then he went to Wilkes-Barre University, but defensive tackle. But Charlie was the type of man that people looked up to, like I did when we were in high school. We looked up to him as a teacher, as a coach, all right, guys? And he's just something special. So we're also going to be presenting to you a proclamation from the mayor's office in honor of Charlie. And, you know, the memories I have, and I mentioned to Andy, you know, that I knew his mom and dad, I knew his sister, I knew his brother Paul, and the whole family, and lived in the same street growing up. A lot of history, a lot of great memories, okay? So this is a proclamation. I'm not going to read the whole thing because there's so many things I can put in here about Charlie. But basically, you know, in echoing what Councilman Marinette said, you know, he's saying a lot of great things. And I just want you to know that as mayor of the city of Wilkes-Barre, on behalf of all the citizens, of Wilkes-Barre, we extend our sincere condolences to the family of Charles A. Fick. We remember for his legacy, mentorship, and service to others. So, God bless you. This is the official mayor proclamation.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mayor.
There you go.
First.
God bless you.
Next is Gail. Now we're doing pending.
Oh, right here.
Yeah. Next is a presentation by Gail Malloy from our health department about Challenger baseball.
Hi, good evening. Mayor Brown, Council, thank you for inviting us to share a very exciting program that is supported by the Pennsylvania Department of Health under a Title V grant, and also very generously supported by here in the city of Wilkes-Barre. I have with me here Rick Drust. He is the Director of Retail Banking at People's Security Bank and Trust. He is the Treasurer and a member of the Board of Directors of the Wyoming Valley Challenger Little League. So, this program, this slideshow is going to be presented all across the state May 1st. So we are going to be featured very prominently next week. We're sharing it with you all first. I'm getting practice in, just so you know. Thank you, Mayor. And so without further ado, this is Leveling the Playing Field, How Challenger Baseball Hits All of the Bases. First, we're going to, Phil, didn't go anywhere. Phil, that's why you bring your IT person. Thank you, okay, all right. Oh, I got to point it there. See, I'm pointing at the screen. See, it's why you bring your IT. That's, okay, wait, this one? Okay. All right. First of all, we'll start by giving you a little bit of history of Little League. So in 1938, a man named Carl Stotz of Williamsport, PA, who had no sons but a couple of nephews, had a great idea. The kids in the neighborhood should have a way to play organized baseball. By the next year, Carl and his wife Gracie and his brothers and their wives and then some volunteers had put together 3 teams, a field, some rules, and a board of directors. The first Little League game ever was played on June the 6th, 1939, and as it said, the rest is history. So today, there are 200,000 teams in over 80 countries teaching children sportsmanship, fair play, and teamwork. The International Little League World Series, which began in 1947, is still being played in August in Williamsport, drawing about 400,000 fans. What a legacy he started. So let's talk a little bit about Challenger Little League. The purpose of Little League Challenger is that it's an adaptive baseball program aimed at enabling individuals with intellectual and physical challenges to participate in the sport. It is designed as an inclusive alternative to traditional Little League, ensuring that children and young adults with disabilities can experience the camaraderie and excitement of baseball. It is the epitome of inclusivity. In 1989, the official, I think I had that flipped. Hold on, let me go back. Somehow I'm going back the wrong way. In 1989, the official Little League Challenger division was established, and in 1990, the first full season of play took place. It is for ages 4 to 18 or to 22 if the child is enrolled in school. And a senior league was established for players 15 and up, and there is really no maximum age. Nobody ever really ages out, even though it says 22. Today, there are 950 Challenger Little League programs in 10 countries. 30,000 players with intellectual or physical disabilities play, and no player is ever denied based on inability to pay, and no registration fees are ever charged. It is considered need blind. Take that back. I'm going the wrong way on the button, sorry. Guidelines. So there are 3 basic rules. The rules, there's flexibility and adaptability are key in all the games. The kids must be allowed to be kids, especially our kids. Little League has a best practice rule book for Challenger Little League to keep the game fun and not exhausting for the players. The games are limited to 2 hours, and they really last about an hour. You can pitch in if you need to here, Rick. We're aware that families have special needs. It's hard just to get the kids to transport them to the field sometimes, but all players play, and every kid gets to play defensively and gets to bat in each inning too. Safety. Safety is extremely important. There's 15 areas covered under safety. There's equipment, first aid, field conditions, the environment, meaning is it raining, is it okay to play, training, coaching, and even the concession stand is covered. And then there's child protection. So child protection, before the season ever starts, every single person that's involved is annually vetted, and we follow all state, federal, and local guidelines on making sure that we have people are cleared. And there's zero tolerance of any bullying or harassment allowed in any function or game.
And we have one more guideline.
Oh.
You have to have fun.
I have to have fun. That's right. The guideline's fun. So let's talk about something. There's buddies. So buddies are integral parts of Challenger Little League. They assist the players in batting, base running, defense as needed, and they teach skills and fundamentals tailored to the individual player as needed. Goals are set, so one player may need help throwing a baseball, another may need help batting. And then some players come along during the season and they don't even need a buddy anymore. Sometimes buddies are peer athletes from Little League or high school programs. It is really heartwarming to see how the allegiances are formed between the programs. And as players improve in their skills, they develop confidence, and it permeates to other parts of their lives. Parents come and tell us that they develop so much confidence because of this program that they start to develop independence in other activities of their life, such as, believe it or not, brushing their teeth, putting on their clothes, putting on their socks and shoes. So the heart and soul is our buddies. They're our buddies here. So let's talk about our program, the Wyoming Valley Challenger Little League Baseball. That was established in 1991. And as we mentioned, we do not charge any registration fees. Okay, there are 3 leagues, minor, major, and senior. Preseason starts off with a very exciting game played at King's College Lippo Field, and the Kings Monarch baseball team serves as our buddies. It is much anticipated day for the players. They love it. And over the years, real connections have been forged with the college players and coaches. And you'll see that in some of the pictures here in a minute. Also during the year, on 4 separate Sundays, a specially laid out field in the outfield at PNC Park in Moosic, home of the Rail Riders AAA team of the Yankees, they provide our team, and the Rail Riders players serve as buddies to the players. So talk about going the big leagues, right? Every team, this is where Wilkes-Barre comes in, every team needs a home field. In 2019, the city of Wilkes-Barre generously designated land in the area known as the Bog. And through this generous sponsorship and donation, the Little League field that is fully handicapped accessible was created. It includes a press box, a concession stand, a handicapped accessible parking area. And next to this field, thanks to the mayor and his group, we have a handicap-friendly playground. Every year, wonderful volunteers, parents, coaches, and even the players come out to help spruce up the field. As you can see from the pictures, everybody has a great time, okay? Our Little League team, our Wyoming Valley Challenger, has its own web page, which you can access if you wish, okay? We have a full season of play. That's a lot of games. You think about those parents getting these kids out. That's a lot of games for a season, all right? And at the end of our season, Wilkes-Barre helps us sponsor a trip to Knoebels Park. It's a great day full of fun, food, rides, and we give them some t-shirts, and the highlight of this is everybody gets a trophy. They deserve it, okay? Everybody gets a trophy. And you should see the faces. Just look at these kids. There is so much joy. This is truly joyous baseball like you've never seen. And so much happiness. We could not do this without the generous support of people like the city of Wilkes-Barre and the generous sponsors that we have, and the amazing hearts of our volunteers. This is the most exciting thing I want to share with you. Oops, I flipped past the most. I want to tell you that this year, Eggland's Best Eggs is sponsoring us, that we are going to be the exhibition team at the International Little League World Series. We will be on television nationally. And so this is only the third team that this is going to happen for. There's going to be a generous donation given to us by Eggland's Best. So I think we're a great team. We're a great group. And I want to say thank you to Wilkes-Barre for all of the support that you give Rick and his group in making this possible. Opening day, May 10th, 11 a.m. Come and join us. You will leave with a smile on your face. Thank you, City Council. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and everyone else for allowing us to share this program with you. Do you have any questions? I'm asking anything about
Gail,
Yeah, any questions?
Yeah,
I have a question.
okay.
Are you looking for like volunteer helpers?
We will take volunteers day in and day out, yes.
I think it's something my grandsons would like.
We would love to have them, and we encourage young people to come and be buddies, because one of the challenges they have is it's a little intimidating sometimes when you have a person with a disability who might be autistic, or it's difficult. We put them together, and after it's all done and over in the ninth inning, guess what? They're best buddies. It changes them. And
That's great.
there's three things that this does for the community. Number one, we give kids an opportunity to do things they don't often get to do. And I've seen children who were afraid to touch a bat. And it took almost an entire year. But that same young man or young lady, season 2 comes out, grabs their bat, gets their nice little walk-up song, and is pointing at the outfield just like they were. And number 2, bring people together from this community that don't have an opportunity often to figure out the complex pieces of the intellectual disability world. And the families get to come together and compare notes and talk and learn. Number three, we're beginning to see some of the minorities that are moving into our city come and participate, because even they have children with disabilities. So we have them from 4, and I think our oldest is 50, and they all get to play.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
You will
That's
cry or you will smile, but I promise you will leave feeling a different person. It's worth it. Come see us.
Sounds right. He said May 10th at 11 o'clock
May 10th at 11 at the Bog.
at the Bog.
Yeah, Evercore Field at the Bog. And,
Wonderful.
And there's plenty of parking. And anytime you see anything to support it, the parents get together, they have a bingo, they have some, the city puts a little Christmas party on for them. These children are not forgotten the other times of the year. It is really just I want to say this, we don't have numbers for the first time that the group formed, but they went from 39 in 2015. Last year there were 119. This year there are 137 children signed up. So we have a need here, and you need volunteers with that. So come on, we're here for you. Thank you.
We need a fry cook.
Oh, you need a fry cook. Okay.
Bridget Durst, Gail Millay, thank you so much for a wonderful presentation and providing this opportunity for the children of Wilkes-Barre. Thank you.
Now, pending legislation.
Okay, pending legislation. Are there any comments on pending legislation? We have one resolution on the agenda and an appointment to the Parking Authority. Any comments on pending legislation? Mr. Troy?
Sam Troy, Wilkes-Barre. Regarding the building of the garage, I don't know if anybody can answer a couple of questions. This is the council's agenda, not the mayor's, correct? This project, or, I mean,
There's just,
so if I don't get an answer, I'll just assume it's true, right?
it's just the agenda. It's
Just
not
the agenda.
It's not either.
It's neither entity brought it, it just came on there. Well, somebody must
Well, it
have.
came on Tuesday from the.
Well, but how does it come up? So Chief Delaney goes to mayor or to somebody on council and says, well, we need an auxiliary building. So that's the way it happens, right?
Correct.
Okay, just so I got it straight in my mind. So the only thing I just like to ask, I wasn't aware of the Office of State Fire Commissioner grant program. I don't know if the city's ever used any of that, used any money from that program before. Can anybody tell me whether that's true? Because in the past, in recent past, the city has bought a lot of equipment, which I assume was needed to have more sophisticated fire equipment technology. I don't think this grant program paid for that. So I don't know if this is apropos of commenting on the agenda. So I don't know if that's kosher. But I'd just like to know if this grant program can be used for other things related to the firefighting in the city. And also would like to know about how much, if anybody knows, how much would come out of the general budget, what the breakdown is here. If there should be, I mean, if you're trying to, I know maybe you know it, you have your own copy of the agenda there, maybe it's on there, but is there a breakdown in terms of how much is going to come? I know $49,000, not a tremendous amount of money, but it's still public money, it's tax money. Does anybody know how much would come out of the general budget, and whether or not there is going to be additional costs? I guess that from what the language is here, I mean, look, I'm an English major and I'm still confused. Along with any or all other project documents. So does that mean there's a possibility of this price going up? That there's going to be additional construction of some kind needed? Or is this limited to $49,000 then? Or, I mean, that was the bid that came in, I guess, right? I guess a yes on that. So does anybody know the answer to that question? How much, what the breakdown is in terms of the general budget? And let me just say this, if you have an answer for me. Years ago, and I think this is related to what's going on here. I'm not saying that this is a bad project or anything. You know, it's needed, it's needed. If it helps firefighting, that's great. You know, but years ago, during the Layton administration, we had excessive closure of fire substations. One right near my house, one in Scott Street, I believe. I think there was one in, there's at least 3 of them. Fires, I guess you'd call them substations, right? You were on council then, Mr. Brown, were you? I mean, you voted for them. Mr. Layton chose to arbitrarily close those substations. And I think as a result of that, some people's insurance went up. I don't know that for a fact, home insurance, because now the nearest fire department station is further away than it was. So why wouldn't insurance rates go up somewhat?
All right, we'll get your questions. So the fire chief was here on Tuesday for the work session, explained the whole reason why he wants this at a garage.
So you're saying I'm off the point?
For Hollenbach.
Huh?
Yes, we're on the point. Is there any comments you want to make about the breakdown of funding?
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, thank you.
So that's all the time I get?
Is there any, that's the only thing on pending, is you want to talk?
No, that's it. I guess just the breakdown. And if it's an open-ended thing, if there's going to be more of an expense to be charged here than the 49, that's all.
Okay.
That's it.
Evening, Sam. How you doing?
No, I'm hanging in there, Mayor Brown. Not easy.
Sam, the cost of this was, we went with the lowest responsible bidder, okay? And when it was put out, the RFP, lowest responsible bidder was the one that's identified in the minutes, okay? When these grants are available, we apply for them. They're not available all the time, but when they do become available, we apply for them, and Chief Delaney does that. So it's not like it's every year, same time, but when they're available, Chief Delaney does a great job in applying for them, and we don't get them all, we get some of them, okay? But Sam, the reason for this is right now up at the station up at Hollenbach Park, we have things that we are storing inside that facility that makes it sort of cramped. We want to put it outside so that the firefighters have more of an easy access and it's not as cramped. So all it is an additional building that will store some of the equipment. Like, I'll give you an example. It might be the boat and trailer, things of that nature. They'll be stored outside, so that way there's more room inside. So it's basically to help us, you know, make it easier for the firefighters, but also to have more storage space. The other part I wanted to answer was, we did open up another fire station, okay?
Where was that?
I'll get to that. It's up in the Rolling Mill Hill section. And we opened that up about 2 years ago, right, Linda? And it had been closed by a prior mayor. We had agreed in a contract with the firefighters union to open that up. And what that's done is that's been open about 80-85% of the time, okay? Where it helps to extend fire protection in areas that are quicker now. Rolling Mill Hill area section the response is much quicker. South Wilkes-Barre, other areas. So now we have 3 fire stations, Sam. When I took office, we had 2. When I took office, I believe we had 10 openings in the fire department. We filled those openings. So what we're trying to do is our administration is make sure that every single position within the fire department is filled. If someone's leaving, we hire someone to take their place. Sometimes they may have to go to the fire academy. Sometimes they already have been through that. So what I'm trying to say is our administration is, one of the key things is making sure that fire and police departments are fully staffed. When I came into office, they were not. But thankfully they are now, okay? And it's giving us better fire protection for the areas, much quicker protection. And actually, Sam, was right after we opened the fire station at High Street, the firefighters saved a life, okay? And they went in and they responded. Our ambulances were tied up at that time. A fire engine went out. Now all the firemen are EMTs, and they went out and they saved a gentleman's life who stopped breathing. They performed emergency medical treatment on this gentleman
got him breathing again until the ambulance came, and they saved his life. And because of that, we presented them with life-saving awards from the mayor's office. So that's just one of the benefits. Another benefit was there was a bad fire, and this was allowing us to have another piece of fire equipment there, which saved the building next to a very bad fire. So the benefits are there, okay, for having the third fire station, but that's about as much as we can afford right now. But we're always looking at trying to make it as safe as possible, Sam, okay?
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Anyone else on pending legislation? Thank you. Moving to the vote, please.
Okay, we need a motion and a second on the consent agenda, which is the resolutions and the minutes.
Motion.
Motion by Mrs. McClay,
Second.
second by Mr. Barrett. Mr. Barrett?
Yes.
Mr. Belishko?
Yes.
Mr. Marin?
Yes.
Mrs. McClay?
Yes.
Mr. Brooks?
Yes. Presentation by council, Councilman Belishko.
I just want to thank the mayor and Charlie. I had two issues on Tuesday that I brought up to Charlie and the mayor, and both were taken care of by Wednesday, and I appreciate that. Thank you, Mayor and Charlie. That's all, Councilman Brooks.
Councilman Barrett.
I'm good since Tuesday, thank you, sir.
Councilman Marin.
I spoke to Charlie beforehand. He took care of actually a few issues before the meeting, and also want to thank him for doing the Rose Lane in South Grant. There was a bunch of potholes there, and a lot of children do cross that street there, so that's very important. Thank you. That's all I have.
And Councilwoman McClay.
Just a few things. 147 Gardner Ave, it's an abandoned property. It's all boarded up, but the yard is a disaster. It's on the corner of Gardner and Woodwood. You probably know. 2426 East Beatty Street, that one's a mess. And 27 to 33 East Main Street in Miners Mill section. So there's like 3 houses there. They're like 2 double blocks, and the roofs are terrible, the gutters are coming off. It's just, they're a mess. So that's all I got. Yeah.
I'm talking to you right there. Can you hear me okay?
I think so.
The one double block you're talking about, which is actually the worst, was purchased by the Lower South Valley Land Bank. So there are plans to take care of that.
Okay.
We don't own that. The person that owned it before doesn't own it. It's the Lower South Valley Land Bank. So that area where those double blocks are, the very worst one, is going to be taken care of.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you.
I'm good.
Public comments, Mr. Gagatek.
Hi, I'm Tom Gagatek. I'd like to first start with something positive. I've been going over to Kirby Park since a little kid. And probably in the last 40-some years when I was taking my children and grandchildren, as of this week, this is the first time I experienced the beautiful facility for restrooms with your name on it and the Kirby Center or Kirby Foundation. Much appreciated. Did away with the outhouses. And while I'm on the subject of outhouses, I'd like to bring up to the outhouses aren't needed on public square like when we have car shows or the farmers markets, whatever. And those 2 buildings that are locked usually, I go to the car shows. I participate. And maybe we could get them taken care of. And if there's usually a police officer that are walking around to see if anybody's doing anything wrong or smoking, whatever. And I think they'd be policed though, just like it is over at the Kirby Park facility, open from 9 to 7:30. But I didn't see any police officers there. But I did see people on e-bikes and scooters running around, and even there were the kids where my grandchildren were playing in the park that you have with the padded area. And then I hear, there's motorbikes, we'll call them dirt bikes, running up and down the dike, and people are jogging, walking. And of course, they shouldn't be there. And there are signs by the parking lot as you're walking in, no motor vehicles allowed on the park. But I see some cameras on the pole and nobody there policing. But I think there at one time used to have, maybe not, there used to be somebody from the city I know closing the park at one time at the gate because I knew the person, Billy Daniels, but that was a long time ago. But I don't think the park actually closes now, the parking area. But it's beautiful. It's well-maintained, grass, no dirt around, plenty of trash cans. Very nice. I appreciate it. But I did bring that up about a month ago about the e-bikes and the scooters. They are everywhere, whether you're in Kingston, Edwardsville, Plymouth, Nanticoke, they're everywhere. I mean, I don't think there's any restrictions on them, and I think it was stated that maybe the lawyer would check into it to see if there's restrictions. But now the state is going to enforce starting next year, I think we all know that, if you have a motor vehicle, excuse me, allergy, and it's an electric bike, they're going to tax you $200 on top of your registration. And if you have an EV, which is motor and gas, it'll be $50 on your registration. So people are going to pay for the use of the roads. But these people with the e-bikes and scooters are zipping all over, safety reasons why. They have no registration. And at night you see them going up and down South Main Street, you know, not far from Public Square, which is our showpiece, I guess. And suppose they hit somebody and get hurt. Who's responsible? Most of these people that we see ride them, I don't think they have anything, let alone have insurance or protection. But maybe the city could get organized and contact the state to see if these things should be insured or licensed or whatever, because somebody eventually is going to get hurt. As we saw, somebody was hit on, I forget exactly what street it was. I heard on the news the man's name, but they didn't give his address, no address. Maybe the man was homeless, who knows? But there's a lot of people coming to this area, Wilkes-Barre, because everything's advertised what's available here, whether it's with the state, federal government, or the county, you know, to get help. So people come here, so they're coming from all over. And I think some of the people I found out, because I have some friends that live in the Plymouth area, there was a homeless encounter where the old EMP was. Now there's a video store there and something else. And the homeless were there, and they're causing problems. They came in and cleaned that all up, took it all out with bulldozers. So these people went somewhere. So maybe they were in Kirby Park when that happened. And who knows, like you said, Mayor Brown, our city firemen and police officers are over there jeopardizing their health and safety to clean this up. Whether they're bad people using drugs or whatever, who knows? But we've got a lot of other problems. And the situation with the square, I just mentioned that with the restrooms that are there. Maybe we could get them to operate, and when there's something going on in the square, have them open, and somebody from the city close it, so it'll be nice for people to use, bringing your grandchildren or your own kids if they're small. They use this facility instead of going to an outhouse. My grandchildren refuse to go to an outhouse. That's the way they are. They grew up that way. Cleanliness, health-wise. But the other thing I'd like to mention, that presentation was wonderful about the Little League and everything. I don't know where the bog is. I heard it a lot of times. Where is it?
Miners
It's at
Mills.
Miners Mills.
Where?
Miners Mills.
I don't know where. I know Miners Mills, but I don't know where the bog is.
East Main by the
Off
Turkey
East
Hill.
Main Street.
Where?
Near the Turkey Hill off East Main Street.
It's down.
Oh, okay, down there. Okay.
There's the
all right.
sign there.
Okay, that's great. I understand that now. And the other thing is, I think it was Mr. Troy mentioned it.
Yeah.
If you take East Main Street, you turn right onto East Main Street.
Yeah.
And you go straight, there, as the councilman said, there's Turkey Hill, but there's a sign that says Evercore Field, okay? And that's where it's right on East Main Street.
Okay.
The sign's on the right-hand side on a pole, okay? And you just make a left where that street is, and the bog, it's called the Bog, is right in that park. So you can't miss it. Just look for that sign and make a left at this next street.
Have to check it out. I think I might go there to see what's going on. Take the
You're
kids
gonna
there.
like it. Yeah, it's really cool. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Tony.
I know, I see I'm out of time. I have a few things I'd like to mention, but I really, really appreciate that Kirby Park situation.
Thank you.
I felt so comfortable being there. Thank you.
Mr. Barrett, you want to say about e-bikes?
We've been looking at the e-bike situation. We would agree that they're all over the place.
Yeah.
Not just here, but everywhere. The state's position on this so far is that they have to be treated the same as regular bicycles. However, we do have the ability to restrict them on sidewalks in business districts, but we cannot prohibit them from riding them on streets or any place else that you could ride a regular bicycle. However, they are expected to obey the same rules as a bicyclist would. They just can't go through a traffic light and endanger themselves.
But they don't, you know that.
But they do.
Yeah,
They do.
yeah.
So those are violations that we could take care of.
But it was
I know
checked into the
is looking
state.
at them a little bit closer now because of the sheer number of them, and they can run like 27, 28 miles an hour, I think is the...
Yeah, some go fast,
And
yeah.
I think some of them are a little faster than that, and we've seen them on the sidewalks too, so they are looking at it. About the most that we can do, and I know you've looked into it too, Tim, as well, is that we can restrict them on sidewalks in business districts and those types of things, so we may be looking at doing something like that.
Yeah, because right now with the nice weather coming here, it's nicer and nicer, like today, I think it's 80, but I see these people, and they're all not kids. A lot of them are adults. They zip in and out of the sidewalk, around traffic and everything else, but we could have a disaster. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Troy?
I have to tell them about the park on Monday Street.
Could I get a possibility of a 2-minute extension? I get so many issues. You should be grateful you have somebody who would give that kind of input. Well, I just want to offer my suggestion. And any time Mr. Troy or Sam Troy offers a suggestion, I get a feeling that everybody closes their ears and eyes. It's like that scene from Planet of the Apes, you know, and they see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. Anyway, my first point I would like to make, as I've made before, about the possibility of adopting the Homestead Exemption Act. I don't understand. I asked Mr. Belesko, but I guess he forgot or just didn't feel the desire to. All they have to do is one of the councilmen request of Mr. Henry. I mean, I can't do it. I'm just an ordinary citizen. But if you officially do it, request him to look into this, that the city could possibly adopt the homestead, farmstead. Maybe you could explain why the city is, well, you're resistant to this, Mayor Brown, or I don't know about council if they can't suggest this. I've just spoke to practically the horse's mouth today, the solicitor for Wilkes-Barre School District, which has had this in effect for God knows how long. And they just expanded the parameters so that people who are getting, let's say, $100 off their taxes are now getting not that much, maybe $125, $150, because their assessment has been picked up. The difference in the assessment has been picked up by this, from what I understand, by the state. It is revenue neutral. This is what he explained to me. Ray Wendolowski, very expensive lawyer for the Wilkes-Barre School District, earns $214,000, by the way, a little more than you make, Mr. Brown. But that's a lot of money for a solicitor, right? Anyway, he told me point blank that it's revenue neutral and that they've adopted it, they've had it forever, and there's no reason, well, of course, he doesn't know all the ins and outs of the city adopting it. I don't know how many other municipalities have adopted it. But I strongly suggest, even maybe after this meeting, if one of the one person on council could officially request to Mr. Henry to look into this and discuss it with the mayor, whoever you have to discuss it with, and see if it's a feasibility. See if it can be, I mean, why can't we help people out a little bit in this city? I mean, we pay the taxes here and the salaries of it, you know, the bonuses and everything comes from us. So when there's a chance to give us a break and it doesn't cost the city a dime, why can't it be adopted? Can anybody give me a good reason? I can't think of a good reason if it's revenue neutral. I'd also like, in the short time I have left, since it is spring and possibly, and we're getting very close to summer, I think you can see the effects of the drastic or detrimental effects of climate change. Don't have to be a radical environmentalist, I think, to realize what's going on. It was in the 80s today. And the city still has no municipal swimming pool. And I think that's a disgrace with all the money we've had tons of money, which I understand is now gone. I don't know if somebody can straighten me out. The ARP money could have been used to build something, even if it was just basic and not too elaborate, somewhere, Cole Street maybe. I think that's shameful in a city of, what is it, 35, 40,000 people? Now we have no community high school, public high school, and we have no swimming pool. So I would urge council or the mayor or somebody to look into the possibility, since this summer is obviously going to be most likely a sweltering one, to perhaps arrange some, I didn't talk to the superintendent of the school district yet, but that maybe coordinated with them. Well, we can bus some of these kids. The nearest pool is Kingston Municipal Pool, and I know and it's a pretty nice, they just spent $1 million in renovations there a few years ago. Perhaps busing some kids over there maybe once a week. I don't think there's anything in existence now, is there? to that effect where you can get, because I remember tragically, I hate to bring this up again, but this was when Layton was mayor, I don't know why I remember that, but 2 kids drowned. It was so hot one day, they tried to get into a neighbor's pool, and they didn't know how to swim evidently, and they drowned, because there was no public pool then either. That's something to consider. And also, since it is summer, perhaps, we're approaching summer, perhaps looking at appointing some sort of safety committee. I know you're reluctant to make appointments to various committees, Mayor. I don't know why, like the Shade Tree Commission, and also to create a historical preservation committee, which I understand from Ms. Payne does not exist on the book, so it has to be created, to try to make improvements to the city for the quality of life. Let's think specifically in my remaining time of these e-bikes and these e-scooters. Has there been any additional regulations adopted? I'm afraid somebody's going to get killed one of these days. And they don't seem to abide by any rules. But that's the end of my time, so since nobody has the generosity to grant me any more time. What I speak of is relevant, though, right?
Any comments?
Well, not if I have to be. Can I go on for another minute or two?
Thank you, Mr. Choi.
That's it?
Are we good? Anything for good of the order?
Comments about the...
All right, we'll see everyone in the next council meeting.
How can something like that be?
Well, here's like the guarantee.